have a thick skin to be the RNC chairperson, and Ronna McDaniel certainly does that, and she has stopped by to visit with us here on our broadcast.
High heels.
High heels? Are they 3-inch or 5-inch?
I don't know. I don't know if they're 3 or 4, but I've got some high heels too.
What an exchange that was between Vivek and Ambassador
Nikki,
Haley about the heels and the whole. I mean, listen, we had policy, we had substance, we had some fireworks, we had Vivek challenging you. I kind of think he's maybe vying for your job or something. Maybe that was a job audition, but overall, I would think you had to be pleased with the way it all went.
I thought the debate was substantive. I think the viewers at home got to hear longer answers from the candidates, which I really appreciated. Less interruption. Hugh did a great job. Thank you to Salem for being a partner. I also think the historical nature of the first ever Jewish partner being part of our debate in this time in history was really somber and important, and it shows how much the Republican Party stands with Israel as they're dealing with Hamas.
You know, one of the criticisms of debates is that conservatives don't have a voice, and there's been a lot of criticism of the Republican Party and the RNC. Here you are partnering with Salem Media Group, Salem Radio Network, and of course all of us, Ed Atzinger and the late great Stu Epperson, we're so grateful to be your media partners, because too many times these debates feature people with an agenda on the left. All they want to do is make Republicans look bad, and I don't think that happened tonight.
Yeah, I don't think people understand the RNC doesn't pay for debates, so we have to go to a network, and not every network's conservative. Right. But bringing Salem in, and they were part of the editorial part of this debate. NBC had Hugh in the room as they made the questions. This has never happened before, and I think you saw that. This was a balanced debate. I don't think you saw this as a gotcha debate, and I think Hugh was critical in that, and I think NBC did a good job as well. I think it was very well done. We can't also win if we're only talking to Republicans.
Right.
We have to be able to reach out to women who watch the Today Show, who are passive news watchers. We have to make sure we're reaching a broader audience as a party.
Listeners who call my show every day express frustration at the Republican versus Republican battle we're in the middle of. Now, inevitably, it's part of the process. On the other hand, some of it seems personal. Some of it seems counterproductive, because let's face it, the enemy of our party, our political enemies, our political opponent ought to be the anti-Semites who are running through the streets, tearing down flyers of children kidnapped by Hamas, Bidenomics policies that have led this wide open border. Does that frustrate you as chairwoman of the RNC?
I think the Republican on Republican infighting is a real problem in our party. When we're so vitriolic and hateful for each other, one, we don't attract new people to our party. We're also taking away from an opportunity to talk about Joe Biden and our border and fentanyl and our kids who are being left behind in school and crime in our streets and inflation. So when we attack each other, it's a mistake. We lost races in 2022 because of so much infighting within our party. I don't like to see it. You'll never see me do it. I understand I got attacked tonight. That's fine. I'm going to keep attacking Joe Biden.
You've also been criticized for some of the losses that we've seen in the last couple of years. I know it. I'm sure it goes with the territory. Again, you got to have a thick skin. Last night was a tough night for the Republican Party, particularly in Virginia. Outcome in Ohio that we hadn't hoped for. What do you say to critics of Ronna McDaniel who say, boy, we got to have a change of leadership?
Well, what I would say about last night is the RNC is a federal committee. We don't raise state dollars. We couldn't get involved in Virginia because the state candidates in Virginia can take unlimited state dollars. I'm not even allowed to raise state dollars. Right. So it's just a mistake. I understand people want to blame everything. But you know what has happened under my watch? We won back the House. You know what also happened under my watch? For the first time in 30 years, we won the state of Michigan and won the presidency for Donald Trump. So I'm going to continue doing things that are going to help Republicans win. I understand people like the blame game. Let's blame Joe Biden. Let's blame the Democrats for the debacle in this country. And then I would also say Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio are real warning signs on candidates being unable to tackle abortion.
That's the tough issue. And frankly, it seemed like there were one or two things was being blamed last night: Trump or abortion. Trump, abortion, abortion, Trump. Seems to me that the abortion issue has been a challenging one for the Republican Party. What do you say to pro-life Republicans?
Listen, I am irate about this because I am a suburban woman and I get this. And the RNC has put guidance out. Listen, I'm not the candidate, guys. I don't get to make the ads. We don't make TV, the candidates do. But if you are being attacked on TV to the tune of $30 million and you do not respond,
Right.
the lie becomes the truth. And in Virginia, the candidates didn't respond. And in Kentucky, the candidates didn't respond. The Democrats are flush with cash. We have got to get out, define ourselves on this issue, and then pivot. But we can't just sit there and keep taking blow after blow and then talk about crime
Right.
and think we're going to win elections. You have to be able to talk about this. Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, they did a great job on this issue.
There really wasn't a bad performance tonight. Although I have to say, of those 5 candidates, and of course I was just talking to Hugh Hewitt before you, I don't know that any of them stumbled.
No, I think it was a great debate. I think the non-interrupting was so critical.
You like that?
I did. Listen, we talked about this before. I talked with NBC and Hugh. We don't have editorial control of the RNC, but we agreed to have opening statements and closing statements so people didn't feel this need to be desperately getting attention. And we also lengthened the time for answers.
Right.
And I think it made a big difference. But I will also say this. The RNC's put forward some tough criteria.
Right.
And we had 5 people on this stage. At this same time in 2015, we had over 10.
Right.
So now we're actually getting to the meat of this election when we should be, and candidates that are really in a position to win are able to make their case.
And now it's off to Alabama in a few weeks.
Alabama. We have some big announcements tomorrow on that. I won't preview it on your show, but you're going to hear a big announcement on Alabama tomorrow.
You could have given us a big scoop.
I'm going to tease you, but it's going to be good.
Fair enough. Madam Chairwoman, all of us at Salem are grateful to be your partners with this. You guys did a terrific job. Your hospitality was great. And we look forward to the next one.
You've been a great partner, and Hugh is the best. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me.